What's up, everybody? I want to come at you with a quick video on who I believe are going to be three breakout players for the Detroit Lions with a little teaser on the third. But who I think they're going to be this year. It's not going to be a super long video. It's just breakout players. And I don't want you to leave me on the first one. But for the first video, I want to do a breakout player for the first player, I should say, not first video. That is more of like a re-breakout player. And look, just stick with me here, and it is Jared Goff. And I just want to show you a couple things here when we're looking at Jared Goff. One of the things that I have noticed about this man is that people constantly are underwhelmed by him, that they are not feeling as good about him. And when you dive into the numbers, you realize he was a good football player for a couple of years, for many years, to be honest with you. And we talk about how we look at his floor and how his floor was 2020 Jared Goff. So that's the same 2020 Jared Goff that threw for almost 4,000 yards, 20 touchdowns. Yes, 13 picks. Yes, I understand there were some struggles. Yes, I understand that there were 4 fumbles lost. So his turnovers almost equaled his touchdowns. Look, I understand all the issues that he had in LA, but at the end of the day, in 15 games, he almost threw for 4,000 yards. He is a good player. We also look at 18-19. I'm going to be doing another video where I'm going to be talking about this, but I'm just telling you right now, Jared Goff, I think, is going to be a little bit better than some of us talk and think he's going to be. Also, when we look back at those good years that he had with the Rams, he was surrounded with a decent offensive line, a very good running game, and weapons at wide receiver. When he has a good offense around him, and we have talked about this, he is a good player. He has talent around him this year in Detroit. He has a good offensive line. He has wide receivers, especially when Jameson Williams comes back, that can do everything. That's going to be 3 good wide receivers. And I think we're confident that Jameson Williams is going to be good. And if nothing else, he's going to be a deep threat. And so that will be huge to take the top off of the defense. Combine that with the line that he's going to have, the running back room, and just all the buzz coming out of camp. I think you have to put Jared Goff as a breakout candidate. Now, for this next player, I want to move to the other side of the ball. And that is, and I don't think this is a cop-out in any way, shape, or form, that is Jeff Okudah. I was so nervous about this guy. He's coming off an Achilles. I don't know what to think. He had a horrible rookie year. I mean, it was bad, everybody. It was really bad. And then he played really in one game last year, tore the Achilles, and it's like, if he can't come back to 100%, like, this done. Like this guy's career could be over with. And then he comes out, he plays I mean, there's some struggles in game 1, but then all of a sudden it's like, wow, against the Colts, it was the first time that you see him have a good game. And you're like, okay, well, that's fine. He's running against their second team offense. Like, let's just take it easy for a second. And then he came out against the Steelers and had himself a game. He had a breakup, a PBU, a pass breakup, and I don't want to overstate that. He played it perfectly. It wasn't a great route or anything like that, but that's half the pass breakups he's had in his career. I think he's had 2, maybe 3 in his entire career. Like, that is a big deal. And for the first time in his career, I don't feel like he's going to be a bust. Do I think he might be the number? Is he ever going to live up to the hype of being number 3? No, but I don't think right now we need him to be just that best shutdown cornerback in the league. I don't think that's what anybody's expecting. We just want him to be the best corner on this team. And when I say that he's going to be a breakout player, I don't mean like, hey, he's going to be our starting corner for the year. He's already won the starting job, as he should have. But I think by the end of the year, he's going to move ahead of Oruwariye. I just do. I think Amani has a knack for the ball, and he's good at creating interceptions, but he is a number 2 corner. That's what he is. I don't think he is a guy that you put up against the best players. I think Okudah is more versatile against bigger players, against quicker players. Like, Okudah has the ability to have a little bit more of that. Oruwariye, I mean, he has certain players that he plays well against, but those quick twitch guys he can struggle with. So I think Okudah is going to kind of move ahead of him in that. And who knows, maybe this offseason was good for him. He got to get his mind off the game, and he just focused on getting healthy, getting his body back. And now he has confidence in his body, and the game is coming along, and he is settling in with this coaching staff. And I think things are going to be really, really good. And the fact that he won the starting job this fast is a really good sign. It's a really good sign for him. And like we said, that Pittsburgh game, he showed something. I'm not sure what it's going to look like the rest. It's not going to be without its bumps, but I think Jeff Okudah is going to assert himself as our number one cornerback. And then for the final player, I said I'm going to give this a little bit of a twist on this, and that's 2, and it's a you pick one. And I want to see what your comments are on this. You pick the final player. Is it Aleem McNeill or is it Derek Barnes? I think both of these guys are going to be great breakout players. So let me make a case for each of them. First one is Aleem McNeill. So maybe I should have said that the 4 guys that I think could be breakout players. My case for Aleem McNeill is this. The coaches are so confident in him and what he is going to do on the defensive interior. They barely played him this preseason. I think he might have been in that first drive against the Colts, but maybe. I said the Colts. I didn't mean the Colts. I meant the very first preseason game against the Falcons. But then I don't think he played against the Colts. I don't think he played against the Steelers, because the defensive coaches know, and this coaching staff knows, that if he's out, this defense is in trouble. They want to keep him healthy, and they're that confident in him. So if they're confident in him, I'm going to be confident in him. I think the second part of this is nobody's around to push him, and nobody on this team can do what he does. Nobody can play that anchor, but also has the ability to do a little sneaky pass rush action. And I think here's my kind of last thing that I want to say about Aleem. He looked ready last year. He was a pro player last year, but I think the new scheme of this defense will allow him to be on the field more often. He might play more than 40% of the snaps this year. And so I think you can see him really start to make an impact, or instead of just be that guy that's there, that's just holding up, being the nose, like they'll put him in positions where he can go and make plays. All this is good stuff. So what about Derek Barnes? Why am I talking about Derek Barnes and his case to be a breakout player? So it all starts with Hard Knocks. I want to say it was episode 2, maybe 3, where they're just talking about Rodriguez. And they're talking to the entire linebacking room, and they're talking about how this rookie is doing things that no linebacker has done in Detroit in 6 or 7 years. They're talking about how he's out for everybody's job, and he's replacing you, guys that have been around. And I think that was directed almost specifically at Derek Barnes. And so that happens. Then he goes out and he has himself a game against the Colts. He plays really, really well. And then he did the same thing against the Steelers. And now you have this guy where all of a sudden his mind seems to be catching up with what his body already can do. He already just straight looks like a middle linebacker. Like he looks like a guy that can do it. He has the speed, he has the build, he has the strength, he can play. But now his mind is starting to catch up to that. There's what were missed tackles in the backfield are now tackle for losses. What were misreads are now blown up plays. Like these things are happening. And I think he responded. I think he saw a guy like Rodriguez, a 6th round pick, rookie, taking his job. And so he's like, no, hold on. I'm still the better athlete here. I am still the guy that was drafted in the 4th round. I am still the guy that this coaching staff likes and sees star potential on. I am going to do this. I'm going to show that I belong. So truthfully, looks like the game's slowing down for him. So those are my breakout players. And I really have a good feeling about all of them. But that doesn't mean all are going to come to fruition. So why don't you hit me with the comment below that subscribe button? Let me know, do you agree with my breakout players? Is there someone I should have talked about? Now, I'm not going to talk about all of them, but like, is there someone that you think would be above these guys as a breakout player candidate for this team? Or do you think I'm just nuts on one of these guys? And, save me. You can miss me with I got to wait to see it stuff. Like, no, I totally get it. But the point of this segment is breakout players. Like, they're not players that have shown it yet. So except with the caveat of Goff, he's shown it a little bit. So hit those comments below, hit the subscribe button below. Love to have you part of here at the Sports Talk Detroit community. And hey, we love y'all. And we'll see you on the next one. The season is right around the corner. Let's go.